Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learning English Practical, the channel that helps you learn English naturally and confidently every single day.
I am Jane. In today's episode, we are going to explore practical ways to improve your English vocabulary and make learning more enjoyable.
Whether you are studying at home, commuting, or relaxing after work, this podcast will guide you step by step toward building stronger language habits.
So, get comfortable, stay curious, and let us start learning English together.
Before we begin, let us talk about the purpose of today's episode. Many English learners struggle to remember new words or use them naturally in conversation.
Sometimes people memorize long lists of vocabulary, but forget them after a few days because they do not use the words in real situations.
Our goal today is to show you how to connect vocabulary with your daily life so that learning becomes easier and more natural.
We will share simple methods to help you think in English and express ideas without translating from your native language.
By the end of this episode, you will have clear strategies to practice vocabulary every day and grow your confidence when speaking.
Stay with us, because these techniques will completely change the way you learn English.
Let us begin with the first and most powerful method, learning vocabulary in context. This means learning words through real situations, stories, or conversations instead of memorizing lists.
That makes so much sense. When you see or hear a word in a sentence, your brain connects it with meaning, tone, and emotion. It becomes part of your experience, not just a word on paper.
For example, imagine you learn the word exhausted. You could simply read the definition, very tired. But if you hear someone say, after climbing that mountain, I was completely exhausted, the meaning becomes clear and easy to remember.
It is like watching a movie. You understand the word by seeing how people use it. If you hear delicious while watching someone eat a piece of cake, you do not just know the translation, you feel the experience.
Another example could be the word confident. You might read it, but when you hear someone say, I felt confident during my presentation because I practiced a lot, you connect the word with the situation and emotion. That helps you remember it for a long time.
That is why reading short stories, listening to podcasts, or watching shows in English is such a good way to learn. You do not only hear words, you see how they are used in context.
And here's a simple tip for everyone listening. When you learn a new word, try to make your own sentence with it. For instance, if the word is curious, you can say, I am curious about how stars are formed.
That practice forces your brain to use English naturally, not through translation.
And over time, you start to think in English automatically because your brain connects meaning, sound, and emotion together.
So remember, do not just memorize, experience the words. That is how real learning happens.
Now, let us move on to the second method, which is one of my personal favorites, writing words by hand. Many learners underestimate how powerful this simple habit can be.
In the digital age, people mostly type on phones or computers, but writing by hand activates your memory in a completely different way. When you write, you physically engage with the language. Your brain has to coordinate movement, spelling, and meaning all at once. It is like telling your brain, Hey, this is important. Remember this.
I once had a student who struggled to remember new words. He used flashcards on his phone, but often forgot them after a few days. Then he tried something new, writing each word in a small notebook. Every time he learned a new word, he wrote it 3 times, along with a sentence. After 2 weeks, he remembered almost every single one. I had a similar experience myself when I was learning Spanish. I made a word journal, and I did not just write the words. I added colors, little drawings, and even emotions. For example, for the word feliz, which means happy, I drew a smiley face. That image helped me recall the word instantly.
That is a creative way to do it. Writing by hand gives you a personal connection to the word. It becomes something you built, not something you just saw on a screen.
And for anyone listening, here is a small exercise you can try today. Take a notebook and divide each page into 3 parts. In the first column, write the English word. In the second, write a simple definition or synonym. And in the third, write your own sentence using that word.
You can even read the sentence aloud after writing it. That way you use your eyes, hands, and voice all together. It is a full brain workout.
Over time, you will notice that when you need that word in conversation, it comes to you naturally because your brain remembers the movement of your hand, the sound of your voice, and the image of the page.
It is like you built a little map in your memory. So yes, writing by hand may seem old-fashioned, but it is one of the most effective ways to make vocabulary truly yours.
Let's move to the third method, reading aloud. This one may sound simple, but it is incredibly powerful for improving fluency and helping your brain think in English.
Many learners read silently, which is useful, but when you read aloud, something different happens. You are not only understanding the words, you are hearing them, speaking them, and feeling the rhythm of English.
It turns reading into an active process. I remember one learner from Japan who struggled with pronunciation and confidence. She began reading a short story out loud every night for 10 minutes. At first, she was shy and slow, but after 3 weeks, her voice became smoother and her confidence grew.
Reading aloud helps you notice how sentences flow. You start hearing where native speakers pause, which words they stress, and how intonation changes meaning. It is like your mouth and your ears are training together.
I once had a student who loved movie scripts. He printed scenes from his favorite films and practiced reading them aloud, pretending to act them out. He said it made learning English feel like performing instead of studying, and that joy helped him improve faster.
That is such a great idea. If you choose something you enjoy, like a story, article, or podcast transcript, you are more likely to stay consistent.
And do not worry about making mistakes. The goal is not perfection, it is rhythm and flow. You can even record yourself while reading aloud and then listen back. Hearing your own voice helps you identify small pronunciation habits you might not notice otherwise.
Here's a practical tip for everyone listening. Spend at least 5 minutes each day reading something you like out loud. It can be a news article, a short story, or even song lyrics.
The more you do it, the more your mouth, brain, and ears start working in harmony. Soon, English will not just be something you study, it will be something you feel.
Now, let us move on to the next method, immersion. Many learners think immersion means you must move to an English-speaking country, but that is not true at all. You can create your own English environment wherever you are.
Immersion simply means surrounding yourself with English in your daily life. I had a student from Spain who never left his hometown but made amazing progress. He changed his phone settings to English, watched English news every morning, and listened to podcasts like Learning English Practical while cooking dinner. Within 6 months, his thinking started to shift naturally into English.
I remember a listener who created what she called an English bubble. She placed sticky notes on everything in her house: mirror, fridge, door, lamp, and every time she touched them, she said the words aloud. It sounded simple, but after a few weeks, she could describe her whole house in English without translating.
That is brilliant. The key to immersion is consistency, not perfection. You do not need to spend hours, even 20 minutes a day, where you only think, read, or listen in English helps your brain adapt.
You can also make it fun. Watch a comedy show or listen to a song in English and try to repeat the lines you like. It does not matter if you understand every single word. What matters is that you are training your ears and your mind to recognize patterns.
Immersion makes English part of your daily rhythm. You begin to feel the language instead of forcing it. Over time, words stop feeling foreign. They start feeling familiar, like old friends you meet every day. That is when real learning happens.
Our next method is one of my favorites, using mnemonics. Mnemonics are memory tricks that help you remember words more easily by connecting them with stories, sounds, or images.
I love that method too. I once taught a student who kept forgetting the difference between desert and dessert. So we made up a simple rule. Dessert has 2 S's because you always want 2 scoops of ice cream. She never forgot it again.
Another student of mine struggled with the word awkward. He imagined a penguin walking in a clumsy way and said, "That penguin is awkward." The funny picture helped the meaning stick instantly.
Sometimes learners create personal connections. One listener said she remembered generous by thinking of her grandmother who always gave everyone food. Every time she used the word generous, she pictured her grandmother smiling.
The mnemonics work because they make learning emotional and personal. Your brain loves stories, colors, humor, and strong images. The stranger the image, the better it sticks.
And it works for phrases, too. For example, to remember break the ice, imagine someone literally cracking ice to start a conversation. It makes learning feel like a game instead of memorization.
When you attach feeling or imagination to a word, it becomes yours. So make your English playful. Turn vocabulary into stories, and your memory will surprise you.
Our 6th method is something every learner needs: speaking practice. You cannot truly learn a language until you speak it. I remember one of my students, Jacob, who studied English grammar for years but never spoke. When he finally joined a conversation club, he was terrified. His hands shook and his voice trembled. But after a few sessions, he started laughing, making mistakes, and learning faster than ever before.
Many learners focus on reading and writing, but avoid speaking because they are afraid of being judged. Yet speaking is where confidence grows. I had a student named Sophia who practiced speaking to herself every morning while getting ready. She would describe what she was doing. I am brushing my teeth. I am making coffee. It sounded funny, but after a month, her fluency improved a lot.
That is a clever trick. I also tell learners to record themselves speaking. When you listen back, you notice pronunciation issues and vocabulary gaps. It is like having your own private teacher.
And you can make it social too. Find a speaking partner online or join an English challenge where you post short videos. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
The more you speak, the faster your brain connects words naturally. Speaking turns knowledge into real skill. So, talk, laugh, and keep using English every day. That is the secret to fluency. Jane, I noticed something. When you talk, you sound more natural now. What changed?
I stopped translating in my head. I used to think of every English word in my native language first, and it made me slow.
That sounds difficult. How did you do it?
At first, it was, but I started describing things around me in English, like the sun is bright or the bus is crowded. Slowly, my brain got used to thinking directly in English.
So you train your mind to skip translation?
When you translate, your thoughts move through two filters. When you stop, your ideas flow faster.
That makes sense. I will try that too.
The more you think in English, the more natural it becomes. It is like learning to swim. At some point, you just float without thinking about every move.
We have learned a lot through these conversations. Let us review some important words from before. How about starting with consistency?
Good one. Consistency means doing something regularly without giving up. For example, if you practice English every day, even for 10 minutes, your consistency will bring results.
Next, confidence. It means believing in yourself. Like, when I speak English with confidence, people listen to me more carefully.
Now, let us get motivation. It means the reason you keep going. My motivation is to travel and talk with people from different countries.
What about focus? It means paying attention to one thing without distraction. For example, turn off your phone when studying to stay focused.
The last one, discipline. It means controlling yourself to keep a habit. Discipline helps you study even when you do not feel like it.
So, consistency, confidence, motivation, focus, and discipline. All these make a strong learner.
If we practice them together, English becomes not just a subject, but a part of life.
That wraps up today's episode. We have talked about so many useful ideas to help you think and speak in English naturally. Remember, learning English is not just about words or grammar. It is about building confidence, keeping discipline, and staying consistent every single day.
Do not worry about mistakes. They are just signs that you are growing. The more you practice, the better you will sound.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow our channel Learning English Practical for more real-life conversations and speaking tips.
Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and tell us what topic you want next.
Keep learning, keep smiling, and never stop improving yourself.
See you in the next episode.